Welcome to our winter wheat nursery here at Hinxton. Earlier on today we were in the glasshouse and I was explaining how we exploit genetic diversity from the two progenitor species of wheat, being the emmer wheat and goat grass. I explained how we make direct crosses from wild emmer wheat into two elite backgrounds, and we also make synthetic wheat, and we use synthetic wheat as a vehicle to transfer genetic diversity from the D genome into two elite wheats. In the glasshouses we make the crosses and we self the material to BC1 F5, and at that point the material is then ready to go over to here for proper field assessment. So in this nursery, it's pretty much split into two nurseries. We have our core nursery. There's pretty much 1,000 plots, and that's all BC1 F5 material. It's completely untested. So throughout the year, myself and some of the breeders will come in. We will assess various phenotypes, and we will make selections of the plots of the plants that we like, that we think we can use further on. The second nursery is our selection nursery. This contains wheat material from the previous year core nursery. Everything's in triplicate plot. It's completely randomised as well. So we get a second year's worth of very useful information, and again we score various phenotypes. Although these nurseries are fungicide treated, we still score yellow rust and brown rust if we see it. We measure heights, and we also score flowering time at 3 specific points throughout the year. In the glasshouse earlier on today, I showed you a couple of ears that demonstrate some of the benefits we can get from synthetic wheat, and I've got a couple of ears here just to show you from the field. So this particular ear here is a Robigus ear. That's one of the elite parents that we use, and this is a backcross 1 F5 plant. And already you can see at this relatively early stage that there's a vast improvement. Plenty more seeds, the seeds are bigger, and the plant that I actually picked this from was tillering very well. And those are 3 very important yield components that breeders are very interested in. And I think my colleague Fiona will explain a bit more about the genetic diversity that she's managed to evaluate in her tetraploid elite crosses.
Hello, I'm Fiona Leigh. I'm part of the pre-breeding programme here at NIAB. I'm going to talk to you today about tetraploid wheats and capturing the diversity in tetraploid wheats in the backcross programme that we've got running at NIAB. So we have a collection of tetraploid wheat, and we've crossed that into Paragon and Robigus to make a suite of lines which are backcross 1 F5 lines. So all that work goes on in the glasshouse, as you'd have heard earlier, and then the first time we put it in the fields when they're at BC1 F5. And each one of these rows is a different row, a different set of material coming from one plant from the crossing programmes. So as you can see here, this is the emmer wheat, and this is Robigus, which is much shorter. And behind me are all the progeny from this cross, and each one of the rows in this little plot comes from a different line in the cross, and you can see we've captured a lot of diversity. So you can see the lines with awns, with waxiness, different heights, different maturities. So what happens next is the breeders will come and look at these lines, and Richard will make selections from these lines, and the lines which show promise will be taken on as a selection nursery. So this is really the first chance that we get to see how good the cross is, whether there's anything desirable in that cross or anything that we want to exclude from the future breeding programmes. Okay, here's just some examples of the tetraploid wheats that we're working with. This is a durum wheat. These are 2 durum varieties, and these are 2 emmer wheats. So these are grown commercially, the durum wheats, and the emmer wheats are grown only as a niche crop in parts of Europe. And then we cross them to Robigus, which is quite different to look at, as you can see. So here are the 2 parents of the crosses. This is the emmer wheat again, and this is Robigus again. And then you can see from the BC1 F5 individuals, they look really quite different to the emmer parent. They've obviously got traits from the emmer parent in these awns, and you can see that the ear is quite long and quite similar to Robigus, which is a high yielding variety. So we hope there's some traits in here which will be useful for breeding programmes.